Welcome back everyone, Ben here, and today I'm doing a roundup of my personal highlights from the Steam NextFest for February to March that just happened in 2026. And these are ones that I've played, I wanted to kind of highlight here that I think are ones to watch. Some of them are larger, some of them are smaller. They are all ones that I've enjoyed and think that if you guys haven't heard of them or haven't tried them out, then it might be something of interest to you. And it's also just to shine some light on the developers, and obviously just as a reminder that the wish lists on Steam are really important for them, just knowing how they're doing, publishing, funding, all that kind of stuff as well. So if there is anything here that you are interested in, then make sure to add it to your wish list, and I'll leave a link to my Steam curator page below as well, where you can add that as well. If you follow that, you'll be able to see all those kind of things there too. I'm going to start with just it all in alphabetical order. I'm not going to like do it by date or anything like that, because everything's coming out at different times. Some things don't have confirmed dates yet. I'm not going to start trying to rank them. We're just going to go from alphabetical and work our way through. And there's thousands of demos. So just before we get started, thousands. Could not play them all. So if there's any that I've missed, or there's any that you think, you should check this one out, or what did you think of this one, let me know. But these are my favorite ones. So sit back, relax, like, comment, subscribe. Let's get straight into it. First of all, we've got ATMOSFAR. Now, this is one that I have already managed to try out, but as part of Steam NextFest, they have brought it as a demo to Steam. This is from Gaijin Network and Mata Team. I was able to try it directly through their launcher last year when it launched into early access, and it is going to be coming into Steam as well. So they put the demo up. Very cool. It's kind of like Escape from Tarkov meets Stalker. You've got the anomalies, you've got the PvP. It's very like mind-bending. You've got these like weird like shrubbery kind of enemies. Visually, I really like it. It's got the normal extraction shooter tropes that you'd expect and all that kind of stuff. If you're a fan of the genre, then it's one to check out. It's just a release date for 2026 at the moment, but this is actually one of the rare ones on this list that if you are really interested and you're not too fussed about it being tied to Steam, you can actually go to Gaijin's like kind of website and you can actually download and check out this right now. But like I said, hold your horses if you're keen to have it on Steam, because it will be coming. Next up, we've got Ardenfall. Now, a few of these games I'm going to mention on this list, I have done a full kind of video for as well, whether they're up before or after, because obviously I don't want to just flood and put like loads of videos up all at once. I got to like pace them out a little bit. So this is one where I will have a longer video on this, and this is called Ardenfall, and it's an immersive RPG set in a world of intricate politics and ancient cultures, and it's very inspired by Morrowind. It's got a really nice kind of colorful art style though, really nice color palette, and like I said, it's a little bit blocky and stylized, but I think it works really well. And you've got all the dialogue, you've got all the kind of quests and choice consequence and things like that, and I liked it. I like the different classes and options you have, and like I said, very throwback to the kind of Morrowind, Elder Scrolls era, like the Oblivion and Morrowind for sure. So yeah, it's from Spellcast Studios, coming at some point in 2026. If you like RPGs, I highly recommend it. And that was just from the demo alone. Moving right on, we've got Armatus. Armatus is a third-person roguelike shooter. I have a video of this already up on the channel, and it's a third-person over-the-shoulder shooter, going through your runs, and then you then upgrade your stuff in between the rounds, like you do in Slay the Spire and all that kind of stuff. You choose the route you want to go. And yeah, I like the enemy design of this. The gunplay and the movement and all that kind of stuff felt really nice. I think the level design is like obviously inspired by the ruins of Paris. So you've got like the Arc de Triomphe, you've got the Eiffel Tower in the background, all enveloped with vines and things like that. But they're kind of generic kind of stages that you're going through, and it just felt really nice. I really enjoyed it. I like the idea of the potential upgrades and weapons and things like that you can get. So yeah, would definitely recommend checking this out if what you're seeing right now looks like your jam. Moving straight on again, ATMOSFAR. Now this one, ATMOSFAR is a sky-high odyssey set on an alien planet of floating islands, coming from APOG Labs and Sheshua Games. And it's an open world exploration game. There is a little bit of survival, not so much in the sense of food and water, but keeping yourself alive, not dying to the fauna. There's a little bit of combat, but it seemed quite light on that and a bit more heavy on exploration, which was quite nice. I started this feeling a little bit not too interested in it, but it grew on me the more I played it. And it was something where it was intriguing. The movement and stuff feels a little bit floaty, but it's got some really good ideas. So again, if the demo is still up, then I'd recommend checking it out and giving it a go and see how you get on with it. But I like the idea of it. This is just coming at some point in 2026. Moving right along, we've got Cargo Hunters. Now, this was very impressive. This is a single player / co-op extraction shooter, and you are a human that is controlling a humanoid robot because the Earth or whatever is too toxic or too dangerous maybe for humans to go out. So we're like being remote controlled by a human. We're controlling the robot, and it's very inspired by Escape from Tarkov, but then it's got that third person over the shoulder view that you come to expect from like Arc Raiders, something like that. But I like it. It's got all the stats. It's got the added kind of gameplay loop here that, yes, you have your missions, you can have your trader and all that kind of stuff that will be in the full game, but you can also, like, not only do you have armor and your like rig and all that kind of stuff, but you can actually change out the robot's body parts. You can have like a heavier robot. It can carry more weapons and stuff, but it's slower. You can have a more agile robot. I think it was just really good and had a nice kind of atmosphere and tension and like cool robot designs and things like that. A little bit of like going for like kind of like lo-fi, blockier, kind of stylized visuals in a way, but I think it works really well. I really enjoyed what I played of it, and if it's your kind of genre, I'd recommend checking that one out as well. This next one, CICADAMATA, is basically neon white mixed with marathon and just very, follow the white rabbit and hop, skip, and jump to become one with the joy use until you are no longer you. Just love the color palette, the blocky visuals. It's not my type of game normally, in the sense of I'm not very good at these kind of fast push forward shooters, and they're kind of puzzles. You've got to push through the level, killing enemies, avoiding their like shots towards you, but you're trying to find these items to then progress to the next level, and you're timed and you get scored on how well you did. And if you've played Neon White, if you like those kind of skill-based fast movement shooters, then CICADAMATA it's just oozing with, even the demo is the demo disc, like it's just oozing with that kind of old school vibe, and it's really leaning into it. It's from the devs over at Flower Garden, and it's coming at some point in 2026. Right, so we got Distant Shore Britannia. This is the game that we saw in the New Game Plus showcase at the beginning of the year, and this is basically Magneto and Portal merging together in a beautiful post-apocalyptic kind of world, and really enjoyed what I played of this. I have recorded a playthrough of this demo, so that'll be up on the channel if it's not already. And basically it's a first-person parkour physics-based game where you wield your magnetic gauntlets to move, bend, and break metal obstacles. It's gorgeous. It's really, really cool. I love the mystery that's around it and why we're there. Kind of living through the notes and audio tapes of those that have come before you, and it just, I had a really good time with it, and very reminiscent of Portal, but in its own spin. And it's probably as bold as to say, could it be this generation's Portal in that regard? So really think it's amazing. The developers are actually called Distant Shore as well, and their game is Distant Shore. They are the name and the game, self-titled. But really impressive with this one. Definitely recommend checking this one out. Next up, we got Sanguis. Bleed the world back to life in a series of tactical turn-based bloodbaths. Lead your Stellae, elite warriors, in the fight to save a dying world from the forces of stasis. Now, this is top-down, turn-based combat, a little bit like XCOM, but a little bit like Other Side. It's very influenced by that, especially the color palette, the whites, the blacks, the reds, and it had some cool movesets. The demo kind of just throws you in, and you're trying to like figure out what you're doing, why you're there, and all that kind of stuff. But it's going to be coming out into early access, just coming soon. Lightbulb Crew are the devs, Fire Squid are the publisher. And like I said, if you like these kind of games, like the turn-based and very tactical, it's very visually like stylistic and looked really nice. Keeping it going, we've got Grind Survivors. Now, this is a roguelike, kind of like, think of like a Bullet Hell, Vampire Survivors, that kind of thing, Potato, Soulstone Survivors, Halls of Torment. And this honestly is up there with the best of them. And I don't mean that like in a hyperbolic way. It is really, really good, really polished as a demo, flawless. Really enjoyed what I played of this. I've got a separate video of this coming up as well. This was just really, really nice. Some really cool builds that you can have as well. Very, very cool if you like the genre. Next up, we have Kiipluu. It's a hardcore stealth adventure set in a brutal Neolithic world. You play as Kiipluu, a young hunter fleeing across hostile lands, and this cannibalistic tribe, the Naush, they have taken your sister, Gina, and you basically, in the demo, you're basically moving through this camp of cannibals, stealthily taking them out or avoiding them. It's got a lot of choice and consequence in a way, a little bit of different paths you can take and different routes that you can approach things, and you're basically then trying to save your sister and then get out. Really like it. Looked nice, ran really well. I think the lip syncing could be better, but yeah, like I said, I have a full video for this one as well, but I really enjoyed it. It was nice, and looking forward to it. I do like a stealth action adventure. Developer is Nico. Pretty good, but quite linear in its progression. It's not like an open world, but it has like branching wider levels, so you've got different ways to approach things. I like it. Recommend it. Moving right on, we have Lens of Fear. This is a realistic, hyper immersive, intense action adventure horror game, and it's a very short demo, this one. I will have a little snippet video for this, but yeah, it's coming from Playable Graph, to be announced in terms of release date. There's no time confirmation or anything like that, and it was just very short. You're kind of moving around the basement in the morgue of a hospital, a couple of enemies to face, really showing off the visuals, the sound design, and it's got that kind of body cam-esque viewpoint. So obviously when you move the gun, you don't turn. The gun actually moves in your arms unless you pull more to the left or right, then you actually move to the right or left. So looks stunning, looks very, very nice, and really showing off Unreal Engine 5 and the visuals. And like I said, the sound was pretty good as well. I'd like to see a little bit more. Wish the demo was a little bit longer to showcase some different environments, but yeah, it is a demo. It's early days. I don't even know if we'd see this one this year. If you're a horror fan and you like the kind of body cam viewpoint, then this is Lens of Fear. Next up, Lunar Abyss. This one really surprised me. It was actually like, it looked really interesting from the screenshots, and then as I read a bit about it, I was like, oh, it's a bullet hell. It's a bit like Returnal. So you got the enemy shooting like the bullets and the orbs at you and things, and you got to dodge them, take out the enemies and things. And those aren't normally my cup of tea, I must admit, just because I'm bad at them. It's a little bit more story driven. It's got some platforming in between as well, and then it's got the bullet hell combat. And I love the vibe of it, just the atmosphere, again, the color palette. This has been something that's been really strong in the demos this year. Very interesting kind of premise as well, and the mystery. I want to find out more. Probably be one that I will check out more of. But yeah, this was very interesting. It's come from Quali Labs, and Quali is the publisher, coming at some point in 2026. Really impressed by this one. Next up, we have Replace. This one was meant to be coming out in March, I think, but it's been pushed back till the 14th of April. So this is from Sad Cat Studios and Thunderful Publishing. It actually has the release date. It is going to be coming out. You can check out the demo in the meantime. The 2D side scroller, you are an AI trapped in a human body, and it's set in an alternate 1980s America. It's, for me, very clearly influenced by Blade Runner, and it's channeling that dark cyberpunk thriller energy, narrative driven 2.5D platformer. And the combat was pretty fun as well. You kind of got these like parries, and then you got the gun kind of executions that you can pull off as you charge up the gun. Like you charge up the executions, then you can pull them off, and just had a nice vibe. The art style is obviously pixely, but I really liked it. I think that's really well with the lighting and the colors and stuff, so definitely one to check out. I think this would be really well on the Steam Deck as well. It's got that controller support and stuff, and just one of those ones that perfectly fits it, I think. Right, Saint of Chains. So this is a psychological single-player first-person horror, and it's focusing on melee and guns, but also solving puzzles in a retro 2000s nightmare, kind of trying to go for that inspired look as you're trying to find what happened to your daughter and your wife. This is from Mistive Dev. It's got a release date. It's coming 12th of May. And like I said, the demo, for me, felt like Condemned Criminal Origins, if you guys remember that game from the Xbox 360. I mean, very kind of melee-focused horror game back in the 360 era. Yeah, the puzzle seemed quite interesting as well from what I played of it. And they even say on the Steam page, it's a love letter to Silent Hill 3, Condemned Criminal Origins, Cry of Fear, and Lost in Vivo. And they're going for that PS2, Xbox 360 era with a heavier horror feel. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. Like stood out to me in terms of the visuals as well, and just had a good creepy atmosphere, which is what you want from a horror game after all. Sword Hero, I'm gonna put this one on here because the demo is actually nothing like the actual game. I mean, the demo is really focusing on the combat. It is the combat arena demo. But Sword Hero, when it's going to be released, which is to be announced, they're running a Kickstarter and all that kind of stuff, but it's from Forestware and Critivo. And Sword Hero is an interactive open world RPG, dozens of dynamic systems, NPCs, daily routines, there's a memory system, crime, reputation, the limb-based directional combat system, and much more. And you become a well-known hero, a feared villain, or anything in between. So the scope of it is absolutely huge. This demo is just really showing off the combat either as a tournament or an arena, and you can kind of move around and get an idea of the combat system. And it's quite brutal and it's very deadly as well, like the gruesome as well, like the dismemberment and everything. And you can kind of like lock onto the character, and then using your mouse you can kind of then say, I want to target the arm or the head, or like I want to kneecap them, and whether that's with your fists or a sword or an axe. And yeah, very, very interesting combat because it's tough, and I think a lot of people enjoy it from a skill-based approach kind of thing. But for me personally, I was much more looking forward to seeing more of the game in terms of it, like a bit like Ardenfall that we mentioned at the beginning of the video, where it's a bit more of a sprawling RPG. We don't really get to see much of that in this demo. But if you're curious about the combat and you want to try that out, which I do recommend, then like I said, this is the demo for that. This next one's a little bit different. This one is Terrinoth Heroes of Descent, and it's based on a popular dungeon crawling board game, and lead a company of fearless heroes across Terrinoth, survive against epic boss battles in turn-based combat, and settle the fate of a world facing unending darkness. This for me was like a merge of Baldur's Gate and War Tales, and it plays in battles a little bit more like War Tales does if you've played that. But the overworld and the party and the camp and all that stuff is very Baldur's Gate free. And it's from Artifact Studio and Shine Group. New Tales of the publisher. I've never played the board game. I actually really like this. I like the combat because, like I said, I like War Tales, and it's a fantasy War Tales in a way with magic and different races and dwarves and all that kind of stuff. But then the overworld is very much like exploring different locations. You got a big threat at large that you got to go and find out what's going on there. You got different party members. Like I said, I don't have any comparison to the board game because I've never played it or even heard of it. In fact, I will have a full video of this on my channel if you're curious. Might be worth checking out the demo anyway. Now this one, Vampire Crawlers, obviously Vampire Survivors. This is their next game from Ponkel. I was curious what this would be when they announced it, Vampire Crawlers, and honestly, a bit like Vampire Survivors, my first like 5 minutes in the game, I was like, oh shit, yeah, this is good. This is really good. It's a dungeon crawler, obviously on the name, and you're kind of like turn-based deck building, roguelite elements, and you've got all the enemies and the weapons and the relics or the piece of armor or whatever from Vampire Survivors, but now in this kind of grid-based, moving forward, turning left, turning right. Like I just thought it was brilliant. I was like 100% gonna get hooked on this. Didn't even need to play that long. I was like, yep, sign me up. I want to buy it. Like, give me it now. It's, yeah, to be announced. There's no actual release date for this yet, but they've done such a good job with Vampire Survivors. It isn't a survivor-like, so it might not be your thing, which is why it's a good time to try the demo out. But for me, I really liked it, and I liked it probably even more than I would have if it was just a generic thing. I think because it is Vampire Survivors and it's got a lot of familiarity with that, and you see a lot of that stuff come over, it made me stick with it more. And I was literally just like, yeah, like instantly I was like, I like this. Like, it's hard to describe. If you like Vampire Survivors and you like the kind of deck building, like what you get from like Slay the Spire and stuff like that, I'd definitely check this out. It's a really weird combo of stuff going on, but yeah, just got that charm, polish, and just worked really well. Good fun. Good fun. Speaking of fun, Voidling Bound. Hatch, evolve, and upgrade powerful space creatures in this action-packed sci-fi third-person shooter that reinvents the monster taming genre. This is from Hatchery Games. This one has a release date. It's coming out 9th of June. And quite cool. It's got this avatar, like from the film Avatar, the blue ones, where you're a human and you go into this kind of pod, and then you then sync up with your creature, and then you control the creature. So you actually go out on the missions as the creature. You hang around in the base as the human, and then you can, based on what you're doing, it's like a third-person shooter in a way with the creature's abilities, and like whether it's shooting fire or whatever. Once you come back, you got research materials and stuff, and then you can mutate it and give it upgrades and things like that, and it changes how it looks, and then you can find multiple of these voidlings, as they're called, and really liked it. It seemed like quite mission structured rather than like what I thought it might be in terms of like, oh, you can go out and explore, a bit like Monster Hunter, and find the ones you want and kind of build upon that. But it just had a nice charm, nice art style, no voice acting or anything like that. It was all text-based. Not sure if that's just in the demo. Cool thing with this though, check it out, and if you like what you play and you want to buy it, the progress that you make in the demo will carry over into the full game, so you can actually just pick right up where you left off. It's pretty cool. But yeah, Voidling Bound, really liked it, would recommend it, and very cool kind of systems there as well. Next up, we have Windrose. I was debating whether to put this one in or not, because I feel like everyone's played it, and it's not really some unknown thing, like especially for people that are like fans of my channel. You you guys like your survival games, you would have seen Windrose left, right, center, and everywhere. Obviously, it was called Crosswind ages ago. I featured that on the channel like a year or two ago, whenever that first came out as a playtest. And honestly, I didn't notice much had changed. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because I think probably performance and stuff was a little bit better this time around, but I didn't notice too much different. But wow, such a quality of life in terms of the building, in terms of the crafting, the gathering. That was all cool. I'm not the biggest fan of the combat personally, but it might be just because it's really early and you're quite weak as a character, and I don't know, I felt the combat. I have a video up on the channel, but I got bullied by a dodo twice, and I got trapped in a house by a boar, and it was not a good time, and I'm carrying deep shame and regret with that, so I'm a little bit salty, sea salty. But very, very good. We'll definitely be playing this game when it does come out. It's just coming soon. There's no actual like release date or any window for this. To be honest, from what I played of it, it played very well, and you could release it now and have no issues. The interesting thing with this is that this isn't coming into early access. On Steam, it just says it's coming soon, and that normally means it's coming as a full release. So these guys are making sure it's going to be polished and it's going to be ready, and it's going to come out in 1.0, and then you're basically then going to get updates and DLC probably in the future. But yeah, if you like survival crafting ones, the food system is like Valheim and Enshrouded. So they give you buffs rather than you needing food and to manage your food and your thirst and all that kind of stuff. So I know some people don't class those as true survivals because you can't starve to death, but to be fair, it seems like you do need to eat still to stand a chance in the game and not be ganged up by dodos. So, you know, take that with a pinch of salt. Anyway, Witchspire is the next one. A survival crafting adventure in a world brimming with magic and peril. Befriend and battle creatures and conjure up a sanctuary alongside other witches in co-op or single player. This one is another survival one. Very cool. I'm glad I checked this one out because I almost didn't. It looks a little bit cartoony. You can have a little familiar that follows you around and helps you out with stuff. You are survival crafting in the sense of you're having to chop down trees, but you don't build an axe. You have like a magic sickle that you learn as a spell, and then you use that to chop down trees, and then you'll do that with the rocks that you need to mine. It's got some cool systems in it. I think the UI could do with a little bit of work here and there. It looks a little bit, doesn't look as polished as the rest of the game does in that regard, and it has a little bit of a jarring feel with that. Crafting's really nice. You open the build menu, you go into like this kind of ghostly form in a way, and then you can float around, build, and then when you're done, you press B and you snap right back to where you were. A little bit like how Star Rupture does it when you've got the drone and you can go fly around and build stuff. Really like that with Witchspire. And it was a cute little world to explore and have a look at. And like I said, co-op's a nice bonus if you've got someone to play it with. From Envar Games, and it's coming at some point in 2026 into early access. And like I said, very, very cozy and cutesy on that side of things as well. And kind of works well with the survival, creature collecting, and the adventure. It's got a little bit of all of them all mixed together, and yeah, was quite a nice time. And the last one that I'm going to include on this list is Zero Parades for Dead Spies. Now, I played this one on the stream earlier this week and really liked it. It's from the creators of Disco Elysium, the final cut. In the quotation marks that Zeum, who are the developer and publisher, that had a lot of turmoil and stuff, so I know a lot of the original people that worked on Disco Elysium aren't actually in that studio anymore. They're actually spinning off and making their own game and stuff like that. So it was a whole mess, this whole thing. You could probably YouTube, and there's probably a documentary on it. But the art style, you can boot this up, and if you play Disco Elysium, you're like, oh yeah, this is from those guys. There is obviously still that talent and some of those people still in this company, and very, very reminiscent of that. And I think, to be fair, on the stream, that 45 minutes of it where you're opening, it's a little bit slow, I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot of dialogue, it's a lot of setting up and stuff like that. But if you like Disco Elysium, you're gonna like this. I think there is a very strong crossover with that, and there's not many other games that come close to what Disco Elysium offers, and this is more of that. Like, if you want more Disco Elysium, this will be where you will go, because there isn't really, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, there isn't much else out there that is like Disco Elysium in terms of the style and the vibe and the dialogue. And like I said, 45 minutes is all it took for me to be playing this and being like, yes, this is that spiritual successor. And yeah, it's you're playing as like a spy in a fictional kind of city, and you're gathering your broken network. You've got a tangle of web of lies. It starts off with a big old kind of issue, the job's gone wrong, and immediately it opens up to just let you figure it out and do what you want to do and kind of fail and try and do all these kind of things. And yeah, really, really interesting. So again, if you're a little bit curious by it, definitely get the demo for it, and But like I said, I think if you've played Disco Elysium and you liked it, you kind of, I think you can confidently go into this one and be like, yeah, this is going to be right up my street and more of what I want. But yeah, an RPG espionage thriller, sign me up. But yeah, I tried to rattle through those as quick as possible. I didn't want to spend too long on them. I just wanted to like highlight them, but then I realized that I had fucking loads of them to get through. So there we go. Gaming enthusiasm bottled up in a video. There you are. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what demos you tried out in the Steam Next Fest and anything that I missed. I know there's a couple that I've had a few comments of people asking me to play Guardians of the Wild Sky. I ran out of time. I will be playing it. I will have a video for it. I didn't get time before making this video to play and properly sit down with that video, which is why it's not on this list. There's a couple of others that I really want to check out. I know like Marathon is technically a server slam over this weekend and stuff. It's not really part of Next Fest, so I didn't want to include Marathon in here. And yeah, there's a few where I was just like, yeah, we don't need to include those. Those are like massive, huge ones. I want to try and shed a bit of light to some different titles across a few different genres, and hopefully I did that for you, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps. Like I said, there are thousands of demos. Some of these demos are going to be up just for Next Fest. Some were up before. Some are going to be up afterwards as well, so you can check on Steam and see if there's any of these you want to check out and all that kind of stuff. But adding to the wish list is really important for the devs. Really helps them out, and like I said, giving them feedback and things like that. Some of the demos you can even leave reviews for and things like that as well, so all that kind of stuff helps, or even in the Steam discussion page. But yeah, thank you so much. Let me know in the comments below what ones you found and what ones you liked and which ones you didn't like. Maybe there's ones on this list where you're like, yeah, I could take it or leave it, or there's stuff on here where you like absolutely love it. And if there's any you'd like me to cover when they actually come out, let me know. But yeah, thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.